Hi, and welcome to another fine edition of On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my left is Hector Perez. Hector, how are you? Hector, you're with the Whitewater Valley Art Association.
That's correct.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The Whitewater Valley Arts Association. You gotta get that S in there because
It's
you
plural.
cover. Yeah, it's plural. Tell me a little bit about the Whitewater Valley Arts Association.
Well, it was formed maybe 50 years ago. It's been in Connersville for 50 years. Some of our members are original members.
Wow.
We are presently on 28th Street, a small building there where we have exhibitions as well as run workshops. One of the reasons we wanted to talk to you is because we are going to be moving to a new location in downtown Connersville on 4th Street and Central. We have a new building that we are trying to repurpose. We were lucky that one of our members donated the building, Marilyn and Richard Smith.
Right. Okay. Right.
And although the building had some damage, we are now putting it together so we can use it as an exhibition space as well as a workshop room.
50 years of experience here in Connersville with the Whitewater Valley Arts Association. What's the history behind the Arts Association, the Whitewater Valley Arts Association, and does it encompass the entire Whitewater Valley?
Well, we certainly try to reach out to everyone in the Whitewater Valley. One of the things that we have managed to do, especially the past several years, is to engage with other art communities, such as Art Depot in Union City.
Right.
We have managed to also do a lot of work with the Richmond Art Museum, which has allowed us to bring people from the outside in, as well as expand the amount of people that take part in the Whitewater Valley Arts Association.
Now, when you say arts plural, a lot of times when people think of art, at least I do, you think of somebody like Bob Ross, somebody who paints, somebody who draws, but arts is much more than somebody who paints, somebody who draws.
Well, true enough, and we try to engage all the different aspects of art. I mean, for example, we do an artsy party, and that has been going very well, where we have an instructor, who goes step by step,
Right.
and true enough that the canvases are usually rather simple. It's more about the joy of learning how to paint than anything else. However, we also encompass people which are more dedicated, and have professional experience. So we do exhibitions, theme exhibitions, individual exhibitions, and we're looking to expand that.
Now, when you talk about exhibitions, are you talking about where people come and look at art? Do they bid on the art? Do they buy their art? Explain exactly what an exhibition is within
We do
the
all
Whitewater.
kinds of things, okay? We try to have a new exhibit open the second Friday of each month, okay? And we do post our themes on our website so people know ahead of time. One of the things we do is we have every 2 years, we do an art auction. 2 years ago, we expanded the art auction and took it to Expo Hall, which was a much bigger space.
Sure.
And we managed to do a little bit of staging as well as have a big screen television so that we could see the items as they were being bid on, as well as have some food and entertainment. This year, again, we're going to do this in November, and once again, we're looking to step it up a little bit and get people more engaged in it.
Angelini's a real good friend of mine. I'm not sure she's a part of your art association, but she is an artist, and one thing she's talked to me about art is that it's very therapeutic. Do you find that when people come to the exhibits that you can get, and I've been to one when I was younger, probably about 20 years ago, I went into one over in Dayton, and it was very, you get caught up into the work of art that you see, and you can almost feel, it was a great experience. You get feelings of what the artist was drawing, and you get drawn into it. Is that what why they are drawn to the art exhibits?
Well, I think everyone ends up developing an interest in art for all kinds of reasons, all kinds of individual reasons. I have a tendency of being a little bit of a nuisance in an art gallery. in trying to get people to speak about the art that they're looking at.
Right.
I think often people go into a gallery and somehow they are reluctant to say anything,
Right.
that they might say the wrong thing or show themselves lacking in
Right.
information. And we try to dispense with that. There are no wrong answers.
Right.
The point is to find a vehicle by which you can talk about something.
Right.
I mean, look, we live in a very visually
Stimulated
rich
world, yeah.
age.
Right.
And amazingly enough, often we end up looking at visuals in silence.
Mm-hmm.
And an art gallery, really, if you think about it, is one of the few chances that you have to reach to somebody next to you and try to share how you see it,
Right.
even if it's quite different than what the artist had in mind.
Exactly. It's just like writing, just like reading poetry. I can, and I love to write, and I don't know how many times I've posted stuff that I've written on Facebook, and people come back and say, "Oh, I really can relate to your poem from this way," and I absolutely did not mean that at all.
Yes.
So it's the ownership that you take when you read it. As a writer, when I give it to you to read, it becomes yours. You can interpret it the way you want it. Same thing with the art. And that's what I found the beauty of it. And I think that's where I would have kept my mouth shut, because I think that is an incredible talent to be able to draw things and to be able to bring things to life like that I would be afraid to sound stupid. But at the same time, that becomes my piece of art when I look at it and how I interpret it.
One of the advantages,
Because personal.
One of the advantages that you have in a small community like Connersville and in the Art Association is that you stand a much better chance to walk into a gallery and have the artist be in the room.
That's right, and know them personally.
And be able to as long as you're open to different
Right.
interpretations,
Yeah.
it gives you a chance to double check or relate to what the artist had in mind and what comes to your mind.
Right.
Besides the fact that it's a really enriching experience
Right,
to
yeah.
try to see how you interpret things.
Right. So you have these exhibits. How often do you have these again?
We are trying to mount an exhibit every month,
Every month.
opening on the second Friday of the month. And if you go to our website, which is WVARTSA.com, we do have a posted schedule of dates.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And so anybody's able to come to that.
True enough, and you obviously can become a member.
Yeah.
If you become a member, especially if you have email, and most of us now have email.
Yeah, sure.
About 75–80% of our membership
Yeah.
is on email. We will email you notices of all of our activities, as well as the openings and newsletters, etc.
Wow. Now, how long have you been a part of the Arts Association?
I've been a part of the association since I got here about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's one of the first things that I did in Connersville.
Oh, wow.
Was become a member of the Whitewater Valley Arts Association.
Were you a part of any other association prior to moving here?
Oh, I've been involved in the arts all my life.
Oh, wow.
And in one way or another.
Yeah.
I went to an art high school, high school of art and design. And I've been in the arts, commercial and fine arts all my life.
There's talk in other states and other cities, funding for schools. One of the first things they want to cut is the arts.
It's unfortunate.
I think it's very unfortunate. And I'd like to hear your take on why you find that unfortunate. I know my take. It has really saved me. Writing is therapy for me. That's my form of art. That's my clay. Throw the words on there, and then I chisel them out. Why do you think arts needs to be saved?
Well, I have obviously, I have my own opinions on this, and what I find is that I have all kinds of interests,
Right.
from science and sociology and anthropology. We all have interests. One of the things that I find most fascinating about the arts, and why I return to it, because several times in my life I've tried to stop painting,
Right, yeah.
and I always return to it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found fascinating is it's the only human endeavor that anything that you can think of is fair game.
Right. Yeah.
Anything can be involved in the arts,
Yeah.
from politics, social, science.
Yeah.
It's the only place where a mind can sit
Right.
and whatever comes out is expressive of the whole being.
Right.
And somehow in our gold-oriented society, that gets misplaced.
Right. I think so.
When you have a child who's just starting to be socialized, one of the first things that we do is put artwork in front of them.
Sure, we do. Right.
And everybody agrees that this is a good thing. But somewhere down the line, that gets lost.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they stop that engagement.
Right.
And you really should not stop that engagement.
Right.
Because, just because you learned how to love, do you stop loving at a certain
Yeah,
point?
you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right.
So that's why it has kept me in the arts all my life. And one of the things that I gained, I spent 4 years as a docent at the Whitney Museum in New York.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
One of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life was to stand in a gallery in a museum and speak to the public about why this matters.
Right.
And what you can gain from trying to ascertain what happened here. Because all of human history is always illustrated in its art, from the cave until today.
That's right.
It's the best dialogue that you can engage in.
I agree with that. And one thing that I learned, and again, I said art earlier, the Whitewater Valley Art Association, and again, that was a subconscious, subliminal thing where you always, again, think of the drawing and the painting, but again, it's so much more. And when you talk about the arts, and you said it earlier, that you can't stop painting. It's a party. It's like telling you, Hector, stop breathing.
My mind just goes to it.
Yeah.
My mind just goes to it. Whether I like it or not, I can't stop it at this point.
It's ingrained in you. And there's not a person watching this program that doesn't have some sort of artistic talent somewhere. I can't draw. I can draw a great stick figure, but boy, I can describe that stick figure with my writing, in a way to where you think that I would be Michelangelo. So that's my artistic talent. And to play pretend, I play pretend very well.
There is always something to be gained.
That's right. There's always something to be gained with art. And the Whitewater Valley Arts Association needs some help right now. You guys are moving, and you are moving to a new building, and I've seen some of the progress.
We are in the middle of a big project, a bit ambitious but quite doable, and step by step, slowly we're getting it done. Like as I said before, we have this building. We've ran into problems, and as it's inevitable, but we are facing them. We had some plumbing problems that were not foreseen. We had a ceiling problem that was not foreseen. We took the ceiling down. There was a lot of, concrete that had to be taken out. We took that out. We had difficulties with heating and air conditioning. We got that solved. We're just about ready to have the heating be totally functional. We're in the midst of installing lighting. The plumbing problems also have been fixed. But I'm sure that we're going to be facing more problems as we go down the line. One of the things we're trying to achieve is to at least get the building functional, and we're very close to that right now, so that we can use the building in order to prepare for the auction, which we do, as I said before, every 2 years. And we need space to not only create artwork, but to organize it, to photograph it, to get it ready for the auction. And within the next 2 months, I think we'll be there. However, the building is going to require help. We're going to be able to use it, but it's not going to be very pretty.
Right.
So the floor has to be done, and plaster has to be done. There's some levels of insulation we're trying to solve as well. There is a new sink we want to put in. There's a kitchen we want to put in. There's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people working very, very hard to make this happen. One of the reasons we're here is that we're trying to reach out to the public, the people of Connersville, to tell them that we're here. Right. We're trying to get this done. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have their own expertise. Any amount of assistance that anybody can give us is welcome. just let us know what you're good at and see whether we can use it, and maybe you can help.
Right.
And most important, to check out our website, become a member, become a business sponsor of some kind. Whatever you can do is going to help, because one of the things that, from my limited experience in Connersville, I've only been here, 6 years, but I've been hearing from people of all the problems we've been having. I've met some young people who, have had very severe problems. There's a drug problem taking place, and we need some place as an alternative.
The arts can save.
The arts is a starting point. The
Yeah.
arts, it's a flame that has to be there in any solution. It may
agree.
not be the ultimate solution, but it's
a tool.
part of the solution. A lot of our volunteers are also volunteering for this farmers market that
right.
we're trying to
Yeah.
encourage, and if
Yeah.
we can have this kind of activity happen downtown, a farmers markets, the art association,
Yeah.
you have two things that you can do in the weekend that are, life-giving.
Sure, absolutely.
And helpful to all kinds of alternate views of what's possible in Connersville. And that is the kind of movement that's going to bring more business, more people, as well as people from the outside. We already have exhibitions from people outside of Connersville coming in. We want to show the artwork of people from Connersville as well as surrounding areas to start that kind of communication and that kind of, helping each other out. So if there's anything, that people in Connersville can do to check out the Whitewater Valley Arts Association and see in what ways they might be able to help, we'll be glad to call you back and see, what we can do together.
You talk about some of the situations here in town with our youth, with some of the drug problems we have. I know that there are some rehabilitations centers around the country that use art as a form to help people break the chains of addiction. As you talked earlier about the self-expression, the human emotion that comes out in that. That's a very important message that needs to convey. You're working with the farmers market. How did that come about?
Well, our president, Sharon McQueen, has somebody has to stop this woman because she's volunteering too much.
I think she's over there, and she say hi, Sharon. Scream real loud. Yeah.
And so she has been helping them organize, as well as applying her experience that she's had in other places in setting up a farmers market. I mean, I find that a little strange. I mean, Connersville really is a farm area, and but yet there is no farmers market.
Right.
Everybody seems to buy their produce from the chain
Yeah,
stores,
the chain
which
store.
there's nothing wrong with that,
Right.
but why not have something that's a little more
Close, and it helps the local economy, and it's fresh and farm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that.
So you might be able in the near future, if we keep going the way we're going, is that you're going to be able to come downtown on a weekend and buy some flowers for the table, pick up some vegetables, and go take a look at some artwork before you go home.
I think that's a great weekend.
There is life there.
Yeah, I think that's a great weekend. Again, mentioned earlier about the kids. What age groups do the kids really start coming to your? Do you have a lot of interaction with a lot of the youth in the area?
Well, we always try to encourage more of it. We do have tours where the elementary school brings students to one of our shows, especially if they can coincide it with something they're working on in school. Our next exhibition is going to be on elementary school art, and we are also running a high school art competition.
Good. Yeah.
And that comes right after that. So we're going to be giving out some prizes to high school students. I haven't seen any of this artwork, and I can't wait to see it. To see I've seen high school students work in this area out of Richmond.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to seeing the work from here. There is also the art competition that we have, the regional art competition that we have decided to do every year now. And we get sponsors, local sponsors to give prizes. But that's more on a professional level. Wow. So we really are reaching out to a lot of people in this area through the Whitewater Valley Arts Association, and it's starting to take hold. We could always use help, though.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Other than with the building, what other help do you guys need with the Whitewater Valley Arts Association?
Do you have any money?
I have a few bucks. I have a few bucks.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking to expand membership. We are working on grants. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows anything about grant writing would be welcome. Mm-hmm. We have exhibitions. You walk into an art gallery and you look at the artwork and you leave and you get from it what you were going to get from it, but it seems like it was predestined, and there's a lot of work that it takes to put up an exhibition, especially when we're trying to expand it the way we are. It's any talent you have, give us a call. I'm sure we'll put you to work.
So now your art history background, or your art background, you're a fine artist?
Yes, I'm a fine artist, and as well as a graphic designer.
Now, fine artist, does that mean you're just fine, or would describe exactly what fine? Because I know the fine arts.
I'm a
you're pretty fine.
Guy.
You are a fine. You are.
Okay. Look, the arts is an area where everybody's opinion is worthwhile.
Right.
Okay, and that has a tendency to blur definitions and borders, okay? Right. So, what is fine art? Generally is artwork that's done just as artwork, that it has not been commissioned, or that it does not have a use or commercial use per se. It is done for the gratification of the artist, or the communication of the artist, or the engagement of the public, just as a piece of artwork. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, fine art. For its own sake. Graphic design is the use of all those talents, in a commercial setting, particularly in how it applies to printing. And at this point, web, and internet, and, marketing, etc. Mm-hmm. I think an area like Connersville, and I've seen looking around at the kind of marketing that gets done here, and we could step this up a little bit, and trying to do that on a commercial level. Right. How to communicate better to your market. Right. Through good graphic design. Right. So I do both.
Colors. When you talk about the color schemes of things, I mean, there's a lot of detail into putting a marketing campaign together for someone's.
Absolutely. And one has a tendency to look at it superficially. Right. What I mean by superficially is just that you look at it and go, oh yeah, it's somebody's logo, or it's somebody's brochure, or somebody's website. But all that can really be fine-tuned, to get the most out of it. And most important, to communicate to your market clearly. And efficiently. And, often there's a little bit of trial and error to that. There's also the fact that a small community like Connersville does not have the advantages of data, statistics. You take a big company that, knows what their customer's favorite color is.
Right, yeah, right.
We don't know that, so we got to take an educated guess.
Right, yeah.
So, that's... having a graphic designer on your side can help you fine-tune your business.
Right, wow. Now, I don't know if this is true, but do they have, isn't there places like, isn't there like museums or to where they have like the greatest logos? And I mean, because those things, I tell you, they get enriched in your mind. Do they have, when we do our exhibits here, for it's just strictly the local artists, do you have any graphic artists come in for theirs for logo stuff, or is it just You follow what I'm saying?
No, I don't follow what you
Okay,
say.
well,
Not again.
okay. Let's try this one more time. When you talk about the graphic artists, you're talking about the graphic. They can't put their work in the. You can't do your work, your graphic artwork. You can't put it in the exhibition.
No,
Okay.
I mean, we generally do not do that.
It's just
you know.
Did that make sense?
Different.
Sure.
It's a different purpose.
Yeah.
Truthfully, there has been museum shows
Right.
of graphic design.
Right.
Yeah. That does happen, and it's a worthwhile subject, just like any other.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a landscape show, you can have a portraiture show, you know, and you can have a graphic design show.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's
But graphic
you're talking
design
about
is an applied art.
Oh, okay.
It's applied towards a business.
Okay. So when you talk about your themes that you guys have for your exhibitions, who comes up with those themes?
Whoever can.
Oh.
We certainly talk about them. We're always open to new ideas. Debbie right now, who's in charge of exhibitions, has done a wonderful job of setting up this year's exhibitions, like, you know, with the elementary school, the high school students. One of the things we're going to do, from what I understand, is the Richmond Contemporary Art Group, which is a group of artists coming that was originally put together by the Richmond Art Museum. And these are professional artists working on a contemporary setting in terms of the artwork that they do. They're less traditional. And they're going to be exhibiting here again because we exhibited them last year. It was such a successful exhibition. We had a gallery just filled with people. And the interesting thing was that half of them were really from Connersville and half of them was from Richmond.
That's wow.
It was a great show, and I was very proud to be one of the artists who exhibited.
Yeah, we've got a short time before this 30 minutes is up, but I want to touch base on what you just said a second ago about half the people from Richmond, was Richmond, half from Connersville. You know, we all know the negatives of this community. We know that, but this is a positive, and a big positive, and it really needs to get out there. How do we get a hold of you? How do we get a hold of the Whitewater Valley Arts Association? And how does somebody get involved?
Well, I think obviously if you have a computer, you know, to contact us via email is the easiest, the fastest way. WVARTSA.com. There's a contact page.
We'll have that on.
Send us an email. We shall return the phone call. You have a phone number.
Got a phone number.
And
So
if
we'll
you
put
want to
that on
do
there.
that, that's really the easiest way. And you know, we'll figure out. We'll answer all your questions. And if there's anything you could do for us, we'll be most grateful.
One final thing: how do you become a member and the cost of the membership?
Membership for a single person is $20 a year. That's you
amazing.
know, pretty good. And
Very good.
You know, you'll get our email blast, you'll get our shout outs, you'll get our newsletter. If you decide to take one of our workshops, you get a discount. It would allow you to exhibit, you know, when we have members show. And, you know, we do have a pretty broad range of people's work that we exhibit. We have many exhibitions where it's, you know, you put up what you want.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And we have shows which are judged.
Right.
You know, so because we really want to represent the entire scope of how the arts can be a part of Connersville.
Hector Perez, your brother is one of my favorite people of all time. Now you are. God bless you. Go see this man at the Whitewater Valley Art Association.
Well, thank you for the time. And
yeah,
thank you for
very
this
much.
because,
I appreciate
you know,
it.
we're trying to reach out.
You were reaching out. Get with him, and we'll see you next month on The Spot.